Let's do it. Last topic, we're going to be talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. We did it last week for the Golden State Warriors, and we're going to do it now for the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs right now 17-45. They are 3.5 games back of the Golden State Warriors for the at least the first spot. It doesn't really even matter anymore.
Yeah, top three, same odds.
But it does matter.
Is Tankathon's site back up this week?
What's up?
Tankathon's site back up this week?
I don't know. I don't care. I don't use that site.
I just use it for the rankings of the numbers.
No, then it is back up. Because I have it right now for the rankings of the numbers. But anyways, 3.5 games back of the one spot, having the worst record in the league. I still think it matters because if you're the worst team in the league, you should.
Well, Steph's back. So,
Well, and we're going to talk about it.
Yeah. Are we?
We're going to talk about it in this segment just because.
Okay, so I was like,
can they get to, well, no, but can they get to the one spot? And if they are picking one, if they are picking top 3, if they are picking top 5, what should be their route? So we're going to act like they have the best odds. We're going to act like they get the number 1 pick. We're going to act like if they get a top 3 pick, we're going to act like if they get a top 5 pick, we're going to try to hit all of those 5s because it's going to be really hard for them not to be in the top 5.
They could fall as far as 6 if they don't get the number 1.
All right, so we'll talk about what that could all happen
1 through 6,
if those people fall out. Let's talk about what their team might look like next year before we get into who they will draft. Like, when we're looking at this team, who do we think will stick around next year? Kevin Love is locked up long term. Andre Drummond, I would be very shocked if he turned down $28 million next year. Darius Garland and Colin Sexton and Kevin Porter, all young guards that I doubt that they're going to get rid of. Jetty Osman just recently signed a contract extension, so I think those guys are the for sure players that will be on this team.
The only UFAs they have are Delly, TT, and Zizek.
Yeah.
Those are the only UFAs or RFAs they have next year.
Wouldn't be shocked if they brought back Zizic, but I also would be shocked if he's that important of a piece to this team.
Here's the question: is like you mentioned, you don't think Drummond's going to turn down the $28 million, almost $29 million.
Yeah.
I wonder if he does.
Because he doesn't want to play in Cleveland.
He doesn't want to play in Cleveland.
He does like K-Love.
He could get a long-term contract.
Yeah. But he's also only 26.
Yep.
So I would wonder if you play that out and you try to then hit your second contract, you try to be 30 because signing a 30-year-old to a 4-year deal
30-year-old center
but it's much better than signing a 31-year-old center to a 4-year deal. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering if he's going to try to hit that window earlier. That would be the only reason I could talk about it is then trying to hit that second contract window earlier than you would be hitting that. So that'd be the only thing that I would throw out there. I think it'd be shocking if he turned down $27 million because I don't think he's going to make that on the open market. What do you think about that? Because he's then the only guy that
not many guys
should talk
available in the free agency this year. So he is one of the best players that would be available in free agency if he did opt out. That's sort of why I'm wondering the whole, could he walk away, collect a 4-year deal from somebody else? I mean, is he going to get $28 million?
28.7.
Probably not. But, here's the thing. Andre Drummond, he's good at basketball. He should be a better player, but he's not, and it bugs the shit out of me. And I don't know what teams are going to value a amazing rebounder, literally the best rebounder in the NBA. It's just his foul shooting has gotten better. His assists have gotten better. He's a good player, but I don't think the value for the center position is that high. So I don't know that he's going to make $29 million, $30 million, $31 million. I think he could get a 4-year deal that's 25, 23, And
he ultimately seems like a guy that puts up very nice stats, kind of similar to Whiteside. Whiteside doesn't deserve to be making $27 million. I mean, he's having this great statistical year for the Trailblazers. If the Trailblazers are worse off this year without not having Nurkic as their center, it comes down to what can these guys truly provide to these teams. And I don't know if Drummond is a guy that really can incorporate himself into a successful NBA team as a 5 that can also be a dominant rebounder. So far, I haven't seen that skill set from him. So I think that he should opt into that $28.7 million. I don't think that there is a team out there that would also give him money because the Hawks got Capella. They don't need him. And that was really the only team that somewhat made sense for him. I don't think there's a team out there that would be super interested in his services.
Oh, there's always an interesting market out there.
But because he's going to want big money.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's going to want 4 years.
Props.
Is there a team that you're looking at that you could be like, oh, I could see them offering him money? Because I don't like the other team that I'm thinking like doesn't have a big per se would be the Wizards, but they have Thomas Bryant.
Yep.
And they don't have a lot of cap room.
True. What about his fit next to Cat?
Ugh.
All right. That gets you going.
Would you sign that deal? Do they even have the money?
That's the way Dave's like, yeah, that gets you going.
Do they have the money for that? I don't think
I'm just like,
that
okay,
makes
if you look
sense.
at teams who need centers, like clearly you start off with the New York Knicks. They need centers. They need more bigs. All right, I'm just gonna stop.
It was a joke.
I'm just gonna stop. They do need a center. Like Mitch Rob is out there, but like he's still so raw.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't be shocked if they went and paid for another center for a couple years to transition.
But they also have Julius Randle.
He was not a center,
But
as a center.
they also a center. Probably better as a center.
No, still have Taj Gibson, who's a center. Still, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Easy. I apologize out front. But no, like if you look at teams in the NBA, the only other team who might do it, I could see Charlotte paying money because that seems to be the most Charlotte thing in the world is go after a center.
The Celtics need one, but
that's
they're
what I
not
was
going
gonna
to
throw
pay
out.
big money.
Thank you for
What
having a
if
real team.
Hayward declines his option,
Ooh,
and then they give all that money to Drummond? But that I don't know if that makes sense.
does that make them better? Because that's my thought. Is like I get that it's Hayward's option to accept or not.
Yeah.
But does that make them a better team if he passes out and they go with Drummond?
I love Hayward hashtag on the court. So
Have another kid, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw the news. He's
I did
having another
not.
kid.
great. I don't know. I don't really care.
What's there to hate about him off the court, by the way? Is there something or?
Wouldn't like to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't seem like a good podcast
Gotcha.
talk.
Gotcha.
Hashtag
off-
on the court.
Hashtag on the court. That's what we talk about.
Gotcha.
But with the
gonna Google
Celtics and
That's what I'm doing.
their Trump loving Gordon Hayward, I think that fuck. I get so distracted when I say shit like that. I don't know if it ends up making them better. And that's a great question because so far they've been playing fine without having a true big.
Yeah, I mean, look, we all know
Tice has been all right.
Tice is tough. He's out there. He's fighting with people. That's
Not
what
great
he does. That's what
offensively.
they want. The Time Lord, honestly, is just a disappointment. But like, he was a low pick in the end of the first round, who's going to be developmental anyway. Had I wish they, gave more minutes, sure. But they're a team that's trying to compete for something special right now, so I understand why he has such a short leash. But he does, they would have amazing rebounding. He can pass. It just kind of hurts their spacing a little bit when they go small. But at the same time, it could give them a chance to give more minutes to the three-man lap with Smart out there, with J-Tate and Jaylen Brown, or you can move in Langford if you see enough development. I know he's on a really tight minutes restriction, basically. He's just not getting minutes unless it's a blowout game. So I don't know. They've got a bunch of young kids on the team. They need to give them all minutes. If Hayward walked away and they got a center, I wouldn't be disappointed, but at the same time, like, they're a better team with Hayward in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that with Drummond, the point that I was making earlier was I don't know if his skill set makes the team better.
Yep.
And I think that although we keep talking about them needing a game-changing center, I don't know if he would end up affecting them enough, like your point, and I think that you could make the argument they're better with Gordon Hayward on their team than Andre Drummond. So I think it'd be dumb for him to opt out. So let's operate through this whole entire Cavs situation like he's opting in. Is there anyone else that you think is important to this team? So we got K-Love, Drummond, Thompson's walking. So K-Love, Drummond, Larry Nance is going to stick around. He's actually on one of those weird
long
front-loaded.
contract, yep.
Yeah, one of those front-loaded ones too. So he's going to
Good job
be
by them.
cheaper. Yeah, I love those contracts. So K-Love, Drummond, Larry Nance, Jetty, because he just signed a contract extension as well. Kevin Porter. You could throw in Windler, but Windler's not that important. And then I would throw in Sexton, Garland, and Dante Exum would be around as well.
Yeah.
So Exum, Garland, Sexton, Porter, Osman, Nance, K-Love, Drummond.
I'll tell you what.
I got 8 guys.
Yeah.
Any of those
I'm
guys
with you.
excite you?
Yeah, Kevin Porter Jr. I fucking love this guy in the draft. I love him right now. He is so unique in his movements. He is kind of got that herky-jerk play style. His shooting motion. I've heard they're going to wait until this offseason.
It ugly.
They're going to wait till this offseason and try to rework it with him.
They should.
But he looks really good out there.
Yeah.
And I really like his upside. I still think he has like tons of potential to be like a number 2 guy on a really good team in the East. Sexton, just the dude gets buckets. he has turned it up yet again. It seems like he's
He loves that second half.
he's not quite
the second half king.
oh god, he's not quite Nico Mirotic in the month of March hot, but
April.
Yeah, you're
April
right.
Mirotic.
April Mirotic is basically LeBron James on steroids. But yeah, he's not quite that good, but he's quite good in the second half of the year. So I really enjoy Sexton. I think Garland, we're starting to see more of a facilitator out of him. He's slowing down his pace. He's looking around more, which is good. I think it did kind of take that locker room explosion to make them take a step back and be like, how are we playing basketball? And we can't keep doing the things we're doing right now. It's not successful. Everybody's pissed at each other. Like, let's just take a step back here and try to play more team ball. And you see this as a team where, they may not have a guy who averages 8 assists a night, but you see 5 guys with 4 assists. Like, it's just they're getting more ball moving. So I think that, having a head coach who's gone, it's a good move for them. Honestly, it was like, when it happened, it was like, yeah, I mean, we all kind of thought it was a sketch move in the first place, but whatever. I like the backcourt duo. I still say, if they took another guard, I wouldn't be shocked this year, though.
Thank you for buying into my whole theory.
Oh, really? Explain.
No, that was my theory that I threw out on the mock draft.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you don't remember that?
Not
I was
really.
like,
I can't remember the mock draft.
Yeah, no, I said it
They're
was
like 7 hours of pain.
I
recording
had
that
them
day.
drafting a guard, and you guys were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "Would it shock you, for them to go out and just be like, all right, we're gonna see
LaMelo
which
Ball.
one's best, and then we'll just get rid of one of them." Like if they had LaMelo Ball, we'll just get rid of either Sexton or Garland because they still don't have a good guard. Like, they have guys who can score. That's different than having a good guard. Kevin Porter can score. Colin Sexton can score. I think Darius Garland can score, kind of.
Yeah, he's getting better.
But they don't have a guard. Like, they still have a guard after fucking 3 drafts. And it's pathetic. I just think that with this team, you still need a star. You don't have a star on this team. I don't think Sexton is a star. I don't think Garland is a star. Kevin Porter Jr. could be fun, but I think at best he is a J.R. Smith. I think he can get red hot. I don't think he's going to be a guy that really takes
like
on.
Knicks J.R. Smith? Because that one I guess.
I think like Nuggets and Knicks J.R. Smith. I don't know if he'll have the longevity of J.R. because I don't know what his defense will be like when he fully grows into his body. But
yeah.
I don't think he's like going to take over the league.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to be a number 2 on a championship team.
Okay.
Like I think he's a very good rotation player or a great 6-man. Like I think that's going to be his top end. He's stupid athletic, but I think there's something that won't connect there to either take him to that next level. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
Kind of like JR. There was a couple screws loose with JR.
Yeah, it's like,
from what we know
that
from
was
Kevin
pretty clear
Porter
from
Jr.
the outside.
From what we know with Kevin Porter Jr., there's a couple screws loose as well. But I think that we should talk about if they pick number 1, if they pick number 3, if they pick top 5, what their route should be. If they pick number 1 overall, and this is from Demon King, Demon King, everyone of the top 5 picks are going to be LaMelo Ball. It's not for me, at least, if you're picking number 1.
No, it's not.
Talk about it.
James Wiseman.
Oh.
He's the pick I make at number 1.
No.
And the reason why I say that is when you were saying, like, who's on this team, if I'm Andre Drummond, the whole thing about him taking the option, not taking the option, I don't know. There might be a championship contender out there that may need a center. Maybe I want to go win a ring rather than kind of sit here for $28 million, even if he stays.
$28 million.
You ain't resigning. I ain't resigning him after this year. I just took it for a cap dump. And Kevin Love, like, here's the big thing. Kevin Love, I would be shopping to get another first-round pick in this year's draft. And
is Kevin Love worth a first-round pick?
I think he is, at least one.
Because I wonder if...
At least one.
Yeah, but he was shopped during the trade deadline. They couldn't get a 1 for him. So what do you think has changed since then? That they're going to be able just the roster situation for teams, the cap situation.
And then he's
landscape
going to actually
has
be
changed.
$3 million more expensive next year.
Yeah.
That's my concern. Is yes, I understand that Kevin Love's good at basketball, but like they tried to shop him once already, it didn't happen. So he was the guy who was publicly fighting with his coach and with his point guards because they couldn't fucking play basketball.
Because they're a bunch of slugs.
Bunch of slugs out there.
And I don't know if, like, the whole
I'm not
thing
saying
with
it's
the
impossible.
trade...
I'm just saying, like...
And with the trade of
situation.
this year, I don't even know if the Cavs were fully in on it.
Okay.
Because all the news that I heard from Windhorse on the Jump was right before the trade deadline. Hey, we're going to work to trade you. Well, it was like, why weren't you thinking about this most of the year then? Like in January, they were like, we're really going to try. Were they really trying? Or was it like a, hey, we're going to try and see what happens? And now firing Beeline. I would try to trade Kevin Love just because the timeline of this team is not going to fit him, even if I'm getting a pick later on. Like, for example, I'm not saying the Celtics should be a team to trade for him, but like if I trade with the Celtics and get a later
let's
pick.
say K-Love's off the team. Let's say Andre Drummond declines his option. James Wiseman's selected by the Cavs. Why do you think he fits with them?
With me, he is there. We've talked about the three best players in this draft, and 1, 2, and 3 are going to be Wiseman, Edwards, and LaMelo Ball.
It's likely, but I don't know.
I'm not
certain.
Here's the caveat I'll say. If I am blowing the team up from day one, which this draft would be day one, I would actually go with LaMelo Ball. Like, if none of the players matter at all, LaMelo Ball, because that's who I want to start my team around, a guard. But if I'm not going to get rid of Sexton, if I'm thinking that I'm fitting him with Garland, with Kevin Porter Jr., then I'm not going to add another guard like LaMelo into there.
Yeah.
I would take Wiseman because I need a center. You need one to play basketball. The Rockets are proving maybe you don't, but if it doesn't win a championship, you do.
I don't
And
agree with
Anthony Edwards, I don't know if I would. I don't know how he would fit with this team. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would go Wiseman over Edwards. Over Ball if I'm trying to fit pieces together.
Okay. Let's
digest.
I want to ask you first, Edwards or Ball, number one overall, just between those two, because you think Edwards is a better fit than Ball.
Yes. Unless you're blowing the team up and no one matters.
Address that. Why do you think that Edwards is better than Ball on this team?
I don't, because I think that Edwards is too similar to the play style of Colin Sexton. I think that Colin Sexton, 20-plus point a game scorer on like 4 and 4. I think that's like what we expect Anthony Edwards to be at the next level. So, I mean, I guess if you're just trying to flip it for another younger contract and then you can flip Colin Sexton for another piece, it's the only way I could see it making sense. And again, this normally in the NBA draft, you draft for potential and talent, not for fit. At the top of this draft, it's so fucking murky that I would not blame anyone for taking any one of the three. There's like 2 other players who are top 5 in this class. I don't think there's a wrong selection where you're like, oh man, I can't believe they went for fit in this case. Like, I don't think there's a gap of separation between top 3 really. I just don't think that Anthony Edwards would bring you to a different tier than Colin Sexton.
What if Obi Toppin pops off and Obi Toppin's the number 1 pick?
It's
Edwards, not Anthony Edwards. Anthony Bennett. That happened to him. I'm not saying that's Obi Toppin, but what if there's someone in the tournament that just pops off and they rise?
But can I say this, Ricky? Like, if Obi Toppin pops off and rises, would you pick him number 1 overall?
I don't know. I'd have to see how he plays. And how it looks.
Would you pick him number 1 overall? Does it truly matter if he drops 45 points in 5 games?
Me personally,
Damn.
no. Like me personally, no. But we don't know what teams are thinking.
Maybe.
Okay, but here's the thing.
We didn't think Anthony Bennett was going to be the number 1 pick that year.
Okay,
he was.
And should he have been?
No.
Okay, so it doesn't matter where he's going. We are seeing what we are taking in all the stuff that we've been watching, and we are trying to push out information that we think will happen. If Obi Toppin goes number 1 overall, people are fucking up. People are making mistakes, and
I'm not shooting to the top. That's all I'm saying.
But here's the thing, and
like if he goes off and they go make a far run, then yeah.
And we've talked about it before. He's a very interesting player. He's going to be a lottery pick, and he should be. But he should not be number 1 overall as what he's going to be 22 years old when the next year starts. He's going to be 22 years old, and when you have Anthony Edwards, who won't even be 19 when he's drafted. Like, that right there should be a sign that, hey, maybe we shouldn't be picking the 22-year-old. And maybe you can make a case for, like, the Warriors because they might be a title contender.
Yeah.
That would be the only thing is if Obi Toppin goes crazy off. Obi popping off. But
I love it.
That would be the only player that you can make an argument, or only team that you can make an argument for Obi Toppin to go number 1. Obi Toppin, I think, is right now should be a lottery pick, but outside of that, the talk of number 1 overall is ridiculous.
I mean, I take Obi Toppin over Anthony Bennett for my number 1 overall pick in that draft.
But that's different because Anthony Bennett sucked.
No, in college, Anthony Bennett wasn't a bad player. It was they're built not quite similarly, but it was just their role in their systems. I get it. You gotta give Obi Toppin credit though for at least finishing at an insanely high efficiency on the season. Like if he continues where he's at right now, it's pretty fucking incredible what he's doing. Age is a number. I get it. And you are basically getting, the start of his prime on his rookie deal, which is kind of cool. It's not the worst thing in the world for somebody who came to basketball late in his life.
I think that it would be a mistake.
Okay.
I think that when you're picking this high, you need to pick
top 5 pick.
You need to pick a future star.
Yes.
Obi popping off, I don't think is a future star that you can develop a team around, especially for the Cavs, who are this young and still need to find a young star. They are not going to be pushing for a title, at least in that time that he'll be under his rookie deal in his prime.
Maybe not.
Obi Toppin deserves credit, but I find it similar to maybe if Brandon Clark was in this draft, who would you take, Brandon Clark or Obi Toppinoff?
Brandon Clark or Obi? Why would I take Brandon Clark that high?
But Brandon Clark was like 22, right? And I'm just saying, like, these
Clark
guys
should have
were
gone higher
massively
than he did,
efficient,
though.
and he should have gone, but like massively efficient, right?
Yep.
They're older players into their college careers on not prime top, Big 5 schools. I'm just saying, like, they're different players because Obi
shoots the 3.
Obi shoots 3. And he seems much more. He seems better driving with the basketball.
He's better in space too.
Yeah,
like that's the thing. Like he has a more skilled offensive game. Brandon Clark,
is more
is
athletic,
so proficient
and
at
he's very
just incredible.
He's still somewhat raw. Obi seems to have his game more tightened up.
I would say Obi is still like I think Obi's equally got a lot more room to grow than Brandon Clark. Brandon Clark, older player, but he was so specialized in like this is how I get my buckets, and he just does. I think Obi Toppin is learning the game still, and he's just going to keep adding things to his skill set. Like, Do you
think he should be in the number 1 overall pick discussion?
No, I think he's top 5 though. I think that by the time the draft comes around, if he has a great March, I'm not saying the 45 points a game March that you were joking around about.
I know, but I was just being ridiculous.
If he has a great March and takes Dayton, to the Final Four or some shit crazy, like he's going to be a top 5 consideration. I think he's top 10 right now for a lot of people for good reason, but I think it wouldn't be unheard of to be top 5. But I do want to hear if you think that. Do you see Anthony Edwards being, the number 1 for the Cavs on their big board? Because I don't. I just, like I said, the Colin Sexton thing hits too close.
Who do you think is number 1 on their big boards? Is it LaMelo?
I think it might be a James Wiseman. I think Wiseman might be their guy because I'm seeing Garland 1, Colin Sexton 2, KPJ at the 3. Either, Nance or whoever at the 4, whether it's Jetty if they're playing small, and then you need to fill in that 4-5 kind of role. I could easily see it go to James Wiseman because again, 7-footer, face-up game, all the hype in the world around the fact that what he could continue to grow into, and we've only seen a clip out of him. He's going to look fucking like a monster at the combine for measurables and everything he shows up for. If he does any skill stuff, I'm very intrigued, but I don't know that he will because he's already so locked in.
With their current roster construction, I do not think that James Wiseman is number 1 on their boards.
Okay.
I think that he is number 1 on he's number 1 on my board. I think he's number 1 on all of our boards at this point.
Who is?
Number 1 Wiseman on our boards.
With me, it depends on who's number 1.
I'm with Ricky on that.
But depends on who gets that first overall pick.
If you were putting on a big board, where would Wiseman be?
2. I would have LaMelo at 1.
Dave?
I'm so similar to Ricky. It hurts.
Wiseman's 1 for me.
I've got Wiseman and him time of day.
With that said, I don't think that he is 1 on the Cavs board because when thinking about the moves that they've made, extending Kevin Love, going out and trading for Andre Drummond for basically peanuts. He's 26 years old, Drummond is. You have a guy that in his prime, you can extend him at some point. I think that he's going to largely play for money, and you have the cap space to do so. I think that they're going to keep Love. I think they're going to keep Drummond. I think that's going to be their 4-5. And I still look at KPJ, I look at Sexton, and I look at Garland, and I don't see anyone separating themselves from that bunch.
Okay.
I don't think either of those guys are going to be stars in this league. And I think you need to go out and take a shot at a guy that can be a star. And I think that leads you to LaMelo or Anthony Edwards. And I think that while Edwards does have a lot of similarities to the guards that they have, I think you're at least taking 3 shots on this very similar built guards. And he's still the leading scorer as a freshman. He's not even 19 yet and won't be 19 until August. I think there's a lot of upside to build off of with Anthony Edwards. And I think I would pick him number 1 overall if I was the Cavs.
Yeah, I mean, I get
think
it.
that
He's 6'5",
puts,
Sexton's only 6'1", so he's got size. He's got, equal strength, I would say, because they're both very physically built. But I don't know. I'm still the youth thing is definitely his biggest upside. He's a scorer. He can get it. But, like, do you think that he has superstar, like, written on him? Because he's the guy out of the top 3 who I have the biggest questions on. He's just dominating worst competition, but his team's awful.
Yeah.
And I wonder how he's going to look on an NBA team where he's not the guy right out the gates. Maybe he is, but how's he going to play with an actual team?
And that's fair. He didn't start playing basketball until he was in 9th grade, right?
Huh.
He isn't a guy that has had this long experience in basketball, being raised and grown in the ball farm. I think that the potential of what he is, and he was raised a football player, right? I think that he has so much star potential written on him, and yes, he ball stops when he touches it.
Yeah,
he cannot play as within a team, but if you're putting him around Drummond, who can keep possessions alive offensively with offensive boards, Kevin Love, who is a very smart and old veteran player that has been able to see guys grow around him.
I love that he's an old player. He's like 31.
I know. I'm just throwing him under the bus.
We're old, Dave.
And I think if you get him around the right coach, I think that he could have the highest upside on this team. And with the Cavs, well, I know there isn't a coach yet, but I think that
Mark Jackson.
I think that if everything goes the right way for Anthony Edwards, he will have the biggest star potential in this draft.
Okay, that's it's interesting because I don't see that. I don't see him having the highest star potential in this draft. I think he's a 6'5" wing. Yep.
We know wings are what dominates in the NBA right now. He is a bowling ball out there.
Ball dominant
He's extremely strong.
Yep.
He could drop 26 a night, and if he's able to develop more of his game, at least to play within an offense, he seems like he's got a great body to be a defensive stud. He's got great athleticism. I think that the pieces are there. You just have to put them together. And I think all of those pieces together, if they ever match up, has the biggest star written on it.
But you could have a 7'1" Anthony Davis, or you could have LaMelo Ball, who is 6'7" and able to get a triple-double any given night.
But also, how efficiently is he doing that? Like, we see guys getting triple-doubles, and
if I have to hear a Russell Westbrook argument now, I'm going to slap you.
It's not a Russ thing, but, how are those triple-doubles coming? And we know that there are ways that these guys can truly affect games. And
who else is 6'7" and who gets triple doubles? Luka Doncic. I'm not saying they're equal. I just want to throw that to make people hate me.
But we know why. But we know why Luka works, because Luka is creative. He works within an offense, and we see him running the most efficient offense in the league.
Yep.
Right. There can be times that LaMelo Ball's out there and he's not running an efficient offense. Like you talk about Trae Young. Trae Young at times, yes, he's dropping 11 assists and 32 points, but his team sucks and he's not really getting his team
carried by
within
Cam
the offense. 28 points last night.
I know.
But I don't think that the efficiency is there. I think star-wise, I think that Anthony Edwards, if he puts everything together, can be the biggest star. I think you could also argue that out of the 3, he has the lowest floor.
That's maybe my thing.
I think with the Cavs, especially the way that they have operated in the past 20 years, you need to take a shot and see what happens.
Okay.
And I think that the position makes a lot of sense to be, to grow into a star.
Yep.
The position already puts him ahead of Widmer right there. And I think that you need a guy that can truly skyrocket your team. Edwards, I think, can do that.
He's not a winning player in college even, so how is he going to help your NBA team win?
I think he's a 2. I think he's a 2-3.
Okay, so are you pushing Sexton to the bench, or are you putting Sexton to the 3? Oh, he gets traded.
Garland or Sexton will get traded.
Okay.
I think that might not be at the draft or
Right.
at the start of the season, but at some point in that season,
You're gonna hope they
will
play
try
it out.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
Sexton's a guy
Sexton
who's
ends up
playing.
winning the job. I think it'll be Sexton and Edwards playing next to each other.
I'd say like since in the last February to March, Sexton's out there dropping like 24 points a game, 4 assists, 2 boards, but on 49, 47, 82 splits. Like the dude gets buckets, and that's why I'm like, do we need to go get an Anthony Edwards? Do we think he's that much better for this team? Can he? I get it. Being 4 inches taller, and we don't know the wingspans exact yet because they haven't been officially measured, so I'm not going to throw out speculation. But like the size advantage is there for him. Could they play next to each other is my question. I don't know. But like Ricky, I want to know from you, do you think that like one of these guys is going to be odd man outed?
You mean like out of the top 3, or like if
No,
they
like
take Anthony Edwards?
If they were to go for Anthony Edwards, you got KPJ and Sexton and Garland. I know
One of them
KPJ's
has
got
to-
size on both those guys, so likely I see him being able to move over to the 3.
One of them has to be though, right? Like
I don't
you
think he's
can't
a
like.
starter.
I get in
think
an
he's a starter.
ideal
Okay.
world, you could say, well, yeah, someone gets moved to the second unit, but like someone's got to be pushed out. And like I find it interesting that when you keep saying like, oh, I wouldn't take Anthony Edwards
Yep.
because he's too close to Colin Sexton. Do you not think that LaMelo then, like, what's the word I want to look for? Do you not think that LaMelo is too similar to either Garland or Sexton either?
No, LaMelo plays completely differently. He is a half-court savant, like at age 18. This kid has such great court vision. He's able to get rebounds because of his size. The only thing that's broken with LaMelo is his defense, and his shot is always going to be ugly. It's just a matter of will it fall or not any given night. But he's got the confidence in his game. He's got the confidence in himself. And as he starts to add weight to his body, to his frame, like this kid's got disgusting upside.
And I think that's why I go back to my thought process of I would, like, with me, if I'm the Cavs at number 1 and I'm the GM, I'm blowing it up. Meaning nobody is safe on this team. I'm taking LaMelo Ball. He's my best prospect on the board. And then I figure out who to put around him. But I don't think that's where the Cavs are going to go. And because you already have Sexton, you already have Garland, I agree Anthony Edwards I would not draft because too close to Colin Sexton, you already have 2 guards. I think same thing with LaMelo Ball because somebody is going to be on the outs. And unless Cleveland is going to say, all right, we're getting rid of Garland and trading him, then I would not take another guard. Although that fights with, like, I think it was Soapy and Chet said you take guards until you hit.
yeah.
But if you take another one, then it's like, okay, LaMelo might hit, but will you find a trade partner for either Sexton or Garland? What will you get from it? That's why for me, like James Wiseman's there. James Wiseman's not going to be a bad pick either. And why, if you're going to keep both the guards, you got to go with Wiseman.
I want to bring in Twitch.tv's chat right now. A lot of talk about Denny Avdia's going on. Captain Matt said, I don't think Cavs are looking for a potential star. Edwards, they should be. They don't have one. Garland,
believe they
Sexton, and KPJ have all shown growth and will get better. I say Cavs go with Denny because they desperately need a quality wing. We are talking about number 1 overall.
Right now
so
we're
let's-
saying number 1.
Yeah.
We're talking number 1 overall. Is Denny in that conversation?
No, not for number 1. Unless you're trading back.
No, not yet. I see a lot of people have him moved into their top 5. I think Bleacher Report, they are saying Demon King dropping they have him going 2nd overall to the Cavs. I get that Denny is playing really well in EuroLeague right now, but I just don't know. I don't know his upside. Like, is he if Danilo Gallinari never got hurt, like that would be Denny Avdia? Because that's a very good player. I get that. He's more mobile than Danilo Gallinari, too. I know that's the comp that a lot of people are just lazy comping out there, which I understand why, but, like, he has...
They're
Just like
foreign.
Mario Hezonja.
They're
to Luka,
foreign,
right?
they're white.
foreign.
Oh, my God, they're the
Danilo's
same player.
Italian and Denny is Israeli.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like how Luka's Mario Hezonja,
Yeah,
right?
basically Mario Hezonja out there.
Same countries, guys.
I just wonder, like, okay, say he's a good shooter, he's got good size, he's decent mobility, he plays good defense. Like, could they use a 3-4? I see more of it as a 4, but like a wing out there with that skill set? Absolutely. Like he is a no-brainer fit. Like you think that Kevin Love? You think Kevin Love's going to get traded? You think
Well, I
Kevin
think
Love
they
is part
should.
of
I don't think
the
he
like
will.
carryover plan to the next generation of Cavs?
I don't think they can trade him. This has been my
Yeah.
argument for the entire year that I don't think there is
Right.
a deal that they will accept.
I
and
think there's a
don't think-
team in this offseason, like I know I gave you shit about like during this past season
Yeah.
they couldn't trim, but I think during this next offseason, after the dust settles in free agency, because it'll be a little disappointing, like there might be a team out there who's just gonna be like, hey, so how much are we talking about, like realistically? And see throughout the whole throughout the whole offseason into the regular season, you know, they might find a bargain out there where they can actually agree to move on from K Love. So I could see K Love's replacement in Denny Avdia out there. I kind of like that as a future fit because you don't have to worry about all of these like, well, who's going to get kicked out? Who are they forced to trade? Because K Love's somebody who already doesn't fit this team's timeline. And he's not exactly the best role model for a team where he's already picking on the young kids. It seems like there's been a locker room divide already. I know they've patched things up for the meantime, but like I could see them going with him. I don't know if a number 1 overall pick, I think that'd be a lot right now. But I think if they do go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 range, in that range, he's absolutely someone they should give consideration to.
Well, and that's why kind of to the thing I've been thinking about then this goes a little bit away from number 1. If they're, let's say, the number 3 pick in the draft, I think the options open up a lot more to where I'm looking to basically what we talked about with the Blazers in the mock draft, what the Hawks and the Mavs did with Luka and Trey, is I am looking then at, okay, Denny could be on the board at 3. Aneka Okongwu could be on the board at 3 if you're looking to go center over that guard. You've got a plethora of point guards if you're like, I want to go with a point guard over that. But really, if LaMelo Ball's there at 3, you're going to go LaMelo Ball.
I would hope so, yeah.
Let's say Anthony Edwards is the one that's available at 3. Let's say Wiseman and LaMelo both went.
I think that's the most unlikely. But go ahead, sorry.
If that's
I gotta shut up.
if that's the case, if I'm the Cavs, because Denny and Oneka would probably be the 2 I'm looking at, I would look to trade back. Call up a team like the Bulls. Call up a team like the Knicks. Hey, LaMelo's here. What do you want for him? Even if Edwards is there. Hey, Edwards is here. What do you want for him? Because I'm
if
sure
you're
there's a
number 1,
team.
why didn't you bring up trading the number 1 overall pick then?
Because at number 1, I take who I want. I take either Ball or Wiseman. I just take the guy I
Okay,
want.
but then if you're at 3 and Ball's still available, then why wouldn't you take him?
Because, well, okay, it goes back to what I said. If I am blowing up the team, which I've taken that off the table because I don't think the Cavs are doing it,
Then how
I would
much to
take
blow
Ball.
up?
But if I'm keeping Sexton or Garland,
Okay.
I'm not taking Ball. That's the thing where I feel like with me, you either blow it up.
By blow it
or-
up, you just mean trade Sexton or
Like,
Garland.
nobody is safe. Yeah. By blow it up, I mean nobody
They don't have
is
much
safe.
to work with to begin with. That's why I'm like, they're on
Well,
rookie deals.
And
Everybody
that's
here
why
is-
to me, it's like you either lean into the guys you've got now,
Yeah.
or you say, this is day 1 and we're starting the new rebuild. That's what I think the Cavs
They're
need to
still
do.
in post LeBron era and they have not stepped out of it. So
Yeah.
to me, they're not. You can't blow up something that has never started.
It's already ground zero.
I think that the best case scenario for this team
Yep.
is, again, they need somebody to truly take the reins of this rebuild. Who is the guy you are building around?
Yep.
Right? Avdia, I think, is a very nice player. I find him to be very interesting. I just don't know if he's the guy. I think guys that are out there that could truly be, and I'm just going to pull up my mock draft just to make sure I'm not missing anybody, but at least the guys that I think that in this top 3, if they are in that range, that could be the guys of a rebuild. I think you could throw in Wiseman, Ball, Edwards, and I'm looking at my 1.0, so I'm seeing my garbage ass. Ball, Edwards, Wiseman, and I think that's it. I think those are the 3 that I would say you could truly build around, and those are your stars of a rebuild. Ball, Edwards, Wiseman. And I don't think Avdia is a smart choice at 3. And the end goal of any draft is to find the guy, right? And they don't have the guy just yet. Sexton's a nice piece. Garland's a nice piece. KPJ's a nice piece. But none of these guys are the guy of this team. I'm
wouldn't
fully sold on that.
close the door on that for myself. I think we're seeing year 1 of basketball out of Darius Garland off of
I'm gonna assume,
injury.
My thing is, I think that if you're in that top 3, you taking one of them at
Yeah.
least gives you that first
Yeah.
step to getting into the right place.
Okay.
It's just then about putting that guy in the right scenario.
Gotcha.
So I think the Cavs need to be top 3 is what I'll say. But go on.
Yeah, no. I'm with you. If you're top 3, I'm taking one of those top 3 picks. I'm not trading
Well,
back.
That's kind of obvious. But
No,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
trading
yeah.
back because that's what Ricky was saying. If you had Anthony Edwards available at 3, like weird scenario where ball goes, 1-2 with James Wiseman, and you're pick 3, you've got Anthony Edwards on your board. I'm taking Anthony Edwards. I don't think that I'm gonna trade back. I don't know that I would go Denny Avdija over Edwards, but once you're past 3 and on pick 4, 5, 6, anywhere in that range that they could fall to at the moment, I think I would lean towards Denny over Big O. I would lean. See, that's tough at that point because like I could see Denny, I could see Obi, I could see.
Tanaka.
No, I
could.
can't see Big O. I could see Isaac Okoro. I'm looking for a wing. I'm looking for somebody who's going to be that guy because as much as I like Jetty Osman, he's not the guy. He might be their Joe Ingles. He might be their guy who can run a second unit. He's competent. He's super smart.
He's a starter during a rebuild.
Yeah.
That's
That's exactly what he is. So like I could see him
Good
shifting
piece,
back and they get a wing up here because that is what they need most right now.
And that's why I feel like, and we've talked about this draft before, but for me, I'm including 3 into this, but it's
Okay.
kind of like what you were saying. Anything from 3 and below, I think is 3 to 6.
Yeah, 3 to
is
6
where
is
they
the
can
range
go.
because they're number 2 right now.
Like 3 to 6 for me. If I'm anywhere in there, especially near the top of that, 3 or 4.
Do you mean 4 to 6?
No, I'm adding 3 into there.
Okay.
Like
He
I
does
said,
not include
Edwards
Edwards in your top.
or Ball?
You think-
even if I'm at 3 and Edwards is available, I'm still thinking about trading back.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm adding 3
Gotcha.
in there. And that is like my process because I feel like if you miss out on those top 2, if you miss out Wiseman, Ball, or Wiseman, Edwards, any of the 2, it's more of like, okay, let me trade back, try to get additional assets while still getting what I want. Because especially, I'll even go with you said, 4 through 6.
Yeah.
At that point, it's going to be, what do you like? Because there's no consensus here anymore after the top 3.
Yeah.
What do you like? And if I like Denny or you like Okoro, and you're trying to find out Okoro, and you're trying to find out who's there,
Yep.
you can trade back. Maybe find a team like the Bulls that are like, hey, I really like Tyrese Halliburton. I think he's going to go
Killian
before that, or
Hayes, or-
Killian
yeah.
Hayes. The Knicks. You can try to find someone who might love
They could
someone
use additional
and want to
picks.
move up
To the
to
people
trade
that
back and get more picks.
are new to our draft coverage, Ricky loves to do the thing that he combines Daniel Aturu's name and Isaac Okoro's name.
No, I just
You do it all the
fucking
time.
said I can't say Aturu's name until
Aturu.
I fuck it up.
You
He's
just
like-
did it.
he's like
you just
Cthulhu.
did it.
because
you
I
didn't even
fucked
think
it
about
up
it.
and I thought I was saying Isaac Okoro's.
He treats
I even said it
Aturu
wrong
like
there, right?
Cthulhu.
Okoro?
Yeah,
He drops
there's
an
there's
H in there.
H in there. But yeah, he just combined Okoro and
There was an H in there.
There was
not?
never an H in it. You just don't know how to read.
Okay. I thought there was. Quick side note, by the way,
Yeah, go
since
ahead.
we got off on this, looking at Tankathon,
Yeah.
it totally blows my mind to see Alexei Pokustevsky's name at 13.
Yeah.
When in our last mock, I had him all the way at 30.
Again,
They're
I'm
just
sorry.
inflated.
To the
I
Kings?
No, they're
I don't.
inflated.
I don't.
13? What?
I hate their mock drafts. They're really bad.
Alexei
And
Pokustevsky.
mine are bad. That's coming from a guy who already makes bad mock drafts.
Yep.
Pokustevsky,
but yeah,
the
no,
Papa
like-
Giannis of this year's draft.
He would be if he got picked that high.
Yikes.
But yeah, no, like the fact that fucking there was a Naismith is 20 and RJ Hampson's 15. Like, fuck out of here. Anyways, Cavs. So we're saying top 3 or bust. Essentially, no.
What do you mean?
I think top 3
Like,
is top 3
fucked?
talent. We're all
Are they
agreed.
are they fucked
No.
if they don't get a top 3 pick?
No.
I don't think so. No,
Okay.
because I like the next grouping of guys in my mind. I think they have better fit maybe, but yeah, obviously Wiseman, Ball are fantastic. Edwards, I have concerns about his fit on this team. I think they're with equal upside for all 3 of those guys. I would definitely take Wiseman or Ball over him. And then when you hit that second group, like I said, you got Wangs between Denny Avdija, Okoro, Obi Toppin. All 3 of those guys could be excellent fits. I don't see them going like if they miss out on Edwards and on Ball. I don't see them taking a Killian Hayes, a Tyrese Halliburton, or a Cole Anthony. Any like that next tier of guards. I think that I would take one of the wings or a big over them.
Can we do this?
Yeah.
I think
we can draw the line.
This might be the new way we go about this. Instead of doing top 1, top 3, top 5, let's do a big board. Make a big board for the Cavs. So 1 through 6, because they can't fall past 6. So if you are picking and you get the first pick, your number one guy.
Am I
is
the
where you go.
GM or am I predicting
You're the
what
GM.
I think
You're
they
the
would
GM.
do?
You're the GM. This is what you want to do for the Cavs.
Okay.
I'll start off since I threw it out, and I'll give you guys time to think. Like I said earlier, I would do Edwards 1 just because I think his star potential is huge. 2, I'd do James Wiseman. 3, I'd do LaMelo Ball. Now this is where we were talking about the trickiness. I would say 4 would be our guy Danny Avdija. I would say 5 would be, and I know you threw out you wouldn't take this guy, Killian Hayes. I love him. I'm the highest out of all of us on Killian Hayes. I think he's going to be very good, and I think at least with that team, you get a ball handler that could attack and penetrate, and that frees up the ability for Count Sexton, Kevin Porter Jr., Darius Garland to get open and have more space on the outside. And then finally, I would throw out the name of Obi Toppin. No. Obi Toppin.
Obi popping off.
Obi popping off. I'll go Edwards, Wiseman, Ball, Avdija, Hayes, Toppin. That's my top 6.
Before I say mine, question for Captain Matt. I don't know if he said it before. I'm assuming Captain Matt in Twitch chat is a Cavs fan.
He said that the Cavs are making the playoffs.
Okay,
next year.
I didn't know. Just saying. Just wanted to ask if he's a Cavs fan.
But like, if he's not a Cavs fan,
then he really likes the
That's
Cavs.
a bold
needs some
take.
help. If you're a Cavs fan, that take makes sense because you've been watching this and everyone loves their own team. If you're not a Cavs fan, who blame?
I just wanted to ask Captain
Said
Matt,
they're going
are
to
you
be
a
an
Cavs
8 seed
fan?
next year, or could be.
If he is, he's going to like mine because he says that he really doesn't want another guard. Yes, he is a Cavs fan. But mine would be the only guard in my top 5 would be LaMelo Ball at 1. Then I would have James Wiseman at 2. Then at 3 right now I would go Denny Avdija. Then Obi popping off. Then Big O.
Anthony Edwards isn't on your list.
No,
That's
not for the Cavs.
It's fucking stupid.
It's like what Dave said. If I
really dumb.
If I am the Cavs, it's one of those where, yes, Anthony Edwards, he meshes over with what Sexton already does.
Trade him.
But to me, Anthony Edwards isn't that much better. Like,
he's younger.
To me, LaMelo Ball is a guy where I can draft him and I could see him changing my franchise. I can't see that in Anthony Edwards.
Okay, but if you think they're the same player, you get someone who's younger, and someone who's bigger.
What, like a year?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years, and he's also bigger.
It restarts the contract. He's bigger, which is upside.
It restarts the contract, but also you have to then redevelop them after you've already developed.
Doesn't matter.
Colin
Your team
Sexton.
sucks, and also Colin Sexton really hasn't been developed.
He's gotten forward progress. I'll give him that. I don't know about developed, like whatever you're gonna say for that.
He lacks consistency. I
would argue he's been quite consistent. In his past year of play, I think that he is. Look at his rookie year. I know you look at his splits throughout the season as you go either month to month or if you break it up by quarters.
Second half, he was fantastic in the first year.
He finished strong, and then this year, I think he's continued on from that effort. So I would say maybe we're not giving him a lot of love because his team's losing. You know, he's kind of got that Zach LaVine shade, but without having to hear about Zach LaVine every week because of Ricky Widmer. You don't have the same level of awareness and hatred for him.
What about LaVine Cuisine?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna give the boy the credit. He's a bucket getter. Yes, his defense is porous, but the problem is his frame. He's 6'1". Mm-hmm. Like at the end of the day, that's going to always hold him back. You know, Edwards is 6'5". He's got better upside. Give him that.
No, the same shit's happening from last year. First 41 games, he averaged 18 on 45 and 35 shooting.
Beeline.
But then also the last 20 games, 49, 45, 86 on 44 points.
Yeah.
That just shows to me for some reason in the second half, and Beeline is a part of this first half, but in the second half, he's been better. I just don't think that he's been as consistent as he, are we,
he was playing
what player
again
is he?
last,
yeah,
okay.
That's the question.
Trying to up and mock him?
Yeah, again, he's a very good scorer.
Yes.
But like throughout all of those times, even when he's playing well, he's near a 4-assist guy, and he's not a guy that
He's a 2-guard. But
He
that's
is a
good.
2-guard.
I
He is a
think
2-guard.
that's the thing. People want to put him at the 1 because of his height and his size. But you have to understand, he's a scoring guard. He is not a point guard.
But there's still.
How do you work with
if-
a 6'1" 2-guard?
That's
you
the
need to
thing.
find your
Is
guy
that
next
I
to
think
him.
that he lacks the consistency to make him necessary to your plan.
Yep.
He lacks the consistency and size to make him necessary to your plan. If he was going out and dropping 25 a night or 24 a night, whatever he's doing, on
right
this
now.
shooting, then he's a part of the plan.
That's what I'm saying.
But he's not doing that every night. He's not
just
doing that
doing that
consistently enough.
since
that's,
Jan 1.
That's the thing. He's been doing it since the 17th.
Okay.
So since the past 20 games, he's been doing that. And the previous 41 games, if you want to split the season in
Look
half,
when John
just
Beilein
like we
got
did last
fired.
time.
I think that's telling. But my big board.
That was before Beilein. That was before Beilein left. Beilein was still around in January 17th.
Oh, okay. Anyway, still, basically, point being,
He takes a while to get up to speed.
they also had other injuries on this team. Not everybody was there. There's a lot of things changed. Point being, I like him, but he is definitely capped because of his size and stature. My big board, I'm going Wiseman, Ball, Edwards, Denny, Obi, and then 6.
Go slow again.
Wiseman, number 1, Ball, 2, Edwards 3. Because I think that undeniably those 3 are in a different group talent-wise.
Yeah.
And then it's Denny, Obi. And then at 6, I have a toss-up between Hayes and Vassell. I think that...
Vassell.
Yep.
That's a rise.
The dude has defense for days, and he can shoot from the outside.
It's a climb. Vassell at 6 is an overdraft.
We'll see. We
Make
will
the case.
see. He's a 3-and-D wang. He's exactly what you want. He's 6'7". I think he could still grow because he's, who stopped scoring at age 19, 18?
I
That
stopped
kid did.
growing when I was 12.
That's unfortunate.
I stopped growing and started balding at 12.
Sean takes the big L on that one.
Yeah, I lost the genetic gene pool.
But no, I just think that his positional value, and especially to this team, fit-wise, is exactly what they need. They need someone who can go out there and guard the best wings out there on another team. So I think that's why he rises. I do like Hayes, not as much as you. I think he's going to be a good guard, but I don't know that I'm ready to take another guard who doesn't have the same upside as someone like Ball does or Edwards does.
Well,
I think that floor
think that's-
spacing wise he can fit. I think
That's the thing.
facilitating wise.
So if you think
How much
that
of an upgrade
Sexton,
am I getting?
If you think Sexton, KPJ, or Garland, if you think one of those is a star, that's why I think Hayes works.
Okay.
Because he then allows those guys to truly be stars, and he puts them in positions when they don't have the ball to then work off ball.
Okay.
Because right now they don't have that ability. Because when Garland has the ball, it's Garland time. When Sexton has the ball, it's Sexton time. When KPJ has the ball, it's KPJ time. There's no passing on this team. Like I know that's the extreme oversaturation. Like, I've watched 3 Cav games this year.
Yep.
But like every time I watch them, it is very limited to these guys like to have the ball in their hands, and when they have the ball in their hands, they are first looking to score. They have 3 score first guards. That's an issue. Hayes at least solves that and breaks that up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Garland, to his credit, since that magical date, we said the 17th, right?
17th.
17th January.
Yeah, so for the first 41 games out of an 82-game season.
Yeah, since 17th January, averaging just shy of 5 assists a game. So, like, not horrible, not great, but like I said, this is more of a team passing game now. It's not, traditional point guard-led offensive style. So, do I think he's going to average 8 a night? No, but, I could see him getting to 6. Next year. I'm not done on Garland just because he came off of a injury last year and he didn't get to play basketball.
I'm done on Garland. I'm just saying,
So,
I think you need to...
that's why I wouldn't take Hayes, because Garland has similar upside to me that I think there's overlap. And I'm like, if I could get my wing and I have them valued about the same, I would rather get another wing to take a shot at than take another guard with a similar profile.
That's fair. The thing I like more about Hayes
is
over,
bigger.
let's say, Garland is the size.
Yeah.
And I
The
think
Cavs and 6'1" point guards,
You need
shooting
to
guards.
fix the size.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
Soapy says, Sean, just remember, Drummond is the real point guard.
It's true. Drummond
Honestly,
is the real point guard. And shout out to Sophie. Shout out to Captain Matt.
Yeah.
Oh, he said we've been better passing post
Agreed.
Passing post all-star break, but
Yeah.
fairly. But that makes sense because John Beilein sucked. But I still think that the size is an issue with these guards, and I think if you get Hayes allows the ability to them to become a modern day offense, where I think that they're not there yet. They don't have they still need to take that step to become a fully fleshed out offense, which I don't think they're there yet. Could happen, but whatever. Final thoughts?
No,
I think we left it all out there.
All right, cool. Let us know what you think about the Cavs draft strategy. What should they do? What should they be looking? What should they be hoping for? What's your big board? What's your top 6? Let us know down in the comments below.
This is our big board for the Cavs, not our big board overall. Just to clarify for people who might not be catching all of this,
because
this is our Cavs.
We all know number 1 is Precious Achua.
Absolutely, that's our
best
guy.
player in the league.
Ayo Dosunmu, baby.
Oh hell yeah. Anyways, let's end this then. That was the last topic. EJ said, what's the next topic? That was it. We talked about the Clippers or Lakers, who should be considered the West favorite. Then we talked about Kenny Atkinson mutually parting ways. Then we did our Wet Boys, and then we talked about the Cavs draft. I guess it's a fairly quick podcast, although we did it for 3 hours.
Because we started about 1:20.
Did we really?
No, 12:20. 12:20.
Okay.
We started 12:20.
So yeah, we did a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah, about right.
About right.
About right.
But yeah, shout out to everybody who watched. Shout out to Captain Matt. Shout out to EJ. Shout out to Soapy. Shout out to Sam was in here. Jake was in here. Our guy Demon King was in here as well, and our guy
Retro.
Retro. Thank you. Retro was in here as well. So shout out to everybody in there. Shout out to all of our patrons. We appreciate you. If you guys want to join us and join the conversation, we had a great conversation with our Twitch guys at twitch.tv/MostValuable Podcast. We appreciate everybody listening. We will be doing Superfans after this, so just stick around if you do want to watch.
Yep.
But for Dave Oster, Ricky Widmer, I'm Sean Anderson. Check out patreon.com/MostValuable Podcast if you want to support us. We'll see you next week.